Hello, welcome. Thank you for being here on Mastery Live and also on my podcast. Today, I'm going live on my podcast, my results podcast. I'm also live on LinkedIn. I'm live on Facebook and I'm live on YouTube. So that's brilliant. Also on my podcast, I'm also live on Amazon Music and iTunes. How cool is that? How amazing is it? When I started out 28 years ago, to think that I'd be able to impact and hit so many people. Back then I was sending out letters through the post, and how the world has changed in that time. But anyway, it's great to have you here. I appreciate your time. I know that you're busy because if you're like 99% of the people that I speak to, you are anyway. And so I appreciate the fact that you're taking time out to be with me today. And we're going to keep it short. I like to keep these sessions down to like 15, 20 minutes, something like that, almost like a lunch bite type thing, maybe while you're having a sandwich or something like that, you can listen to me. But whether you listen live, whether you're on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, on my podcast or wherever you are, a big thank you for being here. So today we're going to talk about why salespeople can't sell and what to do about it. Which I think is a pretty good headline. It's interesting, isn't it? When I say they can't sell, everybody can sell. If you've ever been for a job or sold somebody on the idea of, perhaps your kids on going to bed on time or something like that, that's because you've sold the idea that, the implications of not doing are more severe than the desire to stay up and watch TV. So we can all sell, I know that. But what I believe is that businesses are not selling as well as they could. I remember listening to Jordan Belfont, who you may recall was the Wolf of Wall Street. It was the actual original one. Leonardo DiCaprio played him in the film, but he was the actual guy who actually went to, did all the things he did, which, I know he's not very proud about now, certainly many of them, and he went to jail for it. He came out as a reformed character and now does lots of sales training all over the world, which is basically what he did. He did sales training, but without morals, selling stuff to people that he shouldn't have been. Now, one of the things he says is that you need to be good enough to sell to everybody that should buy. And I think that's some real truth in that. You don't want to be selling people to things to people who are going to regret it later. But if there's somebody that needs what you sell, then you should do whatever you can in order to make sure that person makes the right decision, which is to buy from you. So I've got a list of things just to go through, which are potential reasons why people and, maybe you and maybe your business are not selling to the level that you could. Now, I'm assuming that you're here because you want to sell more. So hopefully that's the case. So firstly is I've got written down is order taking is not selling. I just want to be clear about that. When somebody phones up and goes, "Oh, Steve, I need a new website. Can we meet up to discuss it?" Yeah, okay. I might have to do a little bit of selling in that meeting, but generally speaking, I'm just taking an order. I'm taking an order based on the information that I've got, which is around, I need a new website. I'm just taking an order. It's a little bit like, working in a fish and chip shop. Somebody walks in and goes, "Oh, fish and chips twice, please." And you go, "Yeah, that'll be whatever it costs." And I think, yeah, I'm a salesperson. No, you're not. You're an order taker. So let's just clarify that if we can, or before we can. So so that being the case, let's talk about the first thing. Why is it that people don't sell in at least to the levels that they could? Well, I'd say one of the first reasons is poor quality leads. You know, I think in the modern world that we're in right now, there's no reason why you can't secure good quality leads, and following up, cold calling people, is tougher than it's ever been. We've now in a situation where people don't answer their phones, at least not to the level that they used to. They're often on mobiles, they're working from home, they're harder to track down, and so on and so forth. And so we've got to, I believe, people say, what's the difference between sales and marketing? Well, for me, marketing is lead generation and sales is lead conversion. So you've got to be good at both those things. And I think one of the reasons that people aren't as good as they could be at the lead conversion is the fault of the lead generation, if that makes sense. So what I'm saying is either you're not getting enough leads or the quality of those leads is not good enough. And either of those things can affect things. So working on improving the quality and the quantity of the leads that you're getting. That's definitely, one of the problems. I think another problem, is the speed at which people follow up. A very good friend of mine, a guy called Peter Thompson, does similar to what I do. He's a really good business advisor, very well respected. And Peter says, speed stuns. I always remember him saying it, speed stuns, and it does. And yet most businesses, I don't know about your experience, but I suspect it's pretty similar to mine. I had a recent situation where I've got a Porsche Boxster, right, and it needed a part, and this part was about £700-800, and I went to Porsche and I phoned them up and I said, look, I need one of these parts. They said, the service guy's at dinner. I'll get him to call you at lunch. He was at lunch. I'll get him to call you. Okay, so 24 hours later, nothing. Phoned again. He's busy right now. I'll get him to call you. Nothing again. 4 days it took him. 4 days to get back to me. In the meantime, I'd found a specialist here on the Isle of Wight who'd got the part and he'd already fitted it in my car. 4 days. That's just not good enough. I try to, when I can, phone up within 5 minutes of getting an inquiry. 5 minutes. And people go like this. I go, oh, hi, Steve Mills here. You just dropped me a quick email about helping you with your marketing. Oh, Steve, yeah. Thanks ever so much for responding so quickly. They're like shocked that somebody would do that, so speed stuns, follow up quickly. That's another good tip, I think, to help you improve the performance of either yourself, your team, and your sales team. So follow up quickly. The other thing I'd say is probably a lack of a really good and in-depth sales system. Having a process in place that everybody follows. If you've ever read the book The E-Myth by Michael Gerber, Gerber talks about why businesses fail and what to do about it. And one of the things he says, he talks a lot about, are systems and processes. And if I said to you right now, what's your sales system? What actually happens? Again, if you're like most of the people I speak to, they'll go, well, we sort of follow up, we pick up the phone or we'll answer the phone and then, we'll send them a quote and then, we'll follow up a couple of days later. And then if we don't get through to them, we'll follow up again. And, if we don't get through to them, then we'll send them an email saying, and then that's about it. That's like a 4-step not very good system to me. And yet I know through research that often it can take up to 8 contacts to make a sale. So, keep on keeping on is really, really true. Another saying by Peter Thompson, by the way, is keep going till they die or buy. Now, that might be a little bit tongue in cheek, but I don't think he literally means that, although perhaps Peter, he does. But, I think the message is that don't give up too easy. People, sometimes go quiet on you. One tip I would give as well, excuse me, one tip I would give is to never, ever leave the site of a conversation without agreeing the way forward. So typically I'm talking about something like somebody might say to me, yeah, it's not quite the right time, Steve. So if you give us a call in about a month, we'll be in a better situation to move forward. I'll say, fantastic. How about the 21st at 2 o'clock? They'll go, yeah, okay, yeah, 21st at 2 o'clock is fine. Or they'll, some of them will say, well, I'm not really sure, which is an indicator. Or they might say, no, can't do that, but 23rd at 10 is fine. Okay, great. And it's in the diary, because that avoids that time. And we've all had this where we follow up and we can't get hold of them, and they, and we start to lose the will to live. So, that I think is really important, but developing a system is crucial. Another reason why salespeople can't sell is lack of training. Do you know, I was a little while ago, I was up in Birmingham speaking at a big conference. There are 1,000 people in the room, and I was one of, I think, about 6 speakers in the day. I had like 40 minutes to go on the stage and speak. And I had what's known in the speaking industry as I think it's the worst time, and that is straight after lunch, the terrible time. Anyway, I get on the stage and I say, right, okay, I want a quick show of hands, please. Hands up, who's responsible for selling in the room? And I literally got 1,000 hands. 1,000 people put their hands up. I said, okay, great. Hands up, who's a business owner? And again, most of them, not quite all of them, but a good 60-70% of them were business owners. Okay, great. Hands up, who's done any training in sales in the last year? 50 hands. 50 hands. 950. I said, do you know what? I said, there's 950 of you are responsible for selling in your business, and you couldn't be bothered getting any training. What's that about? How can you do that? How can you not train yourself? People say, well, I'm just, I'm good at selling. No, you're not. You're probably good at order taking. You might be good at selling. You might be, reasonable at it. But, how good are you? What's your system for asking for a referral? How do you overcome the objection? I want to think about it. What are the questions that you ask? For most salespeople, they make it up as they go along, and that's not professional. That's amateur. That's an amateur salesperson, makes it up as he goes along or she goes along. Professionals do it professionally. Yeah, they train themselves. They know what to say. When somebody says, we don't have the budget right now, they don't say, oh, well, give us a call when you do have the budget. They'll say something better than that. When somebody says, I need to speak to my partner, they'll know what to say to that. They'll know the answers, and they'll know they'll have a variety of different systems in place that they can use in order to convert as many people as they can that could be converted into sales. So lack of training. I train myself every single day. Every day, 7:30 to 8 o'clock is sales and marketing training. I do that every day. It's in my diary. It's nailed on, and so should you. Lack of a referral system. lack of a referral system. This is a big one again. You know, if I said to you, where do you get most of your business from? Most people's answer would be, oh, word of mouth. You know, or they might say LinkedIn, or they might say paid advertising. But a big one, a big opportunity, even if it's not a big one with your business, is to win business from referral, from word of mouth. It's a great opportunity, and yet most people at best, if they're going to ask for a referral, do so in a really bad way. They might say, I don't suppose you know anybody else who's interested in what we do. Or they might be more positive and say, do you know anybody else who'd be interested in what we do? Well, that's okay. But is there not a way of doing that better? Well, there absolutely is. And it's all, again, down to knowing the numbers. You know, how many people do you need to ask? If you phoned up all your customers, maybe did, I don't know how many you've got, obviously, but if you did 10 a day and said, hi, Steve Mills here, just calling as part of our customer service to make sure that you're happy with everything that we're doing. Oh, you are? Great. Okay. Oh, fantastic. Thank you. Yeah, I'm really, really pleased. And then you go into your script. You have a better script than, I don't suppose you know anybody who would be interested. And you convert 1 in 5. You know, that's real power. That's real. You know, that's a great opportunity for each and every person listening today. So we just need the script. And if you need the script, you can join my Results Mastery University, where I provide you with the script. But anyway, next one, no upselling and bundling. You know, people buy something, you know, and you don't try and upsell them. I always love McDonald's as the absolute best organization for this in the world. You know, we go in and go, oh, could I have a Big Mac, please? They say, yeah, sure. Is that a Big Mac meal? And you go, oh, yeah, go on then. And would you like to go large? Oh, yeah, go on then. And what's happened? You've just gone in to spend whatever it is, £3. You've come out spending £7. And excuse me, keep coughing. And, you know, you've just been dealt with by a 16-year-old person without really any sales training, and they've just doubled their sales. I just wonder how much McDonald's make by implementing that script in each and every McDonald's all over the world. You know, how much is that? And, you know, what's your version of that? How could you do that in your business? What about, bundling together, you know, or getting people onto an ongoing program? I was working with somebody a little while ago who did landscape gardening. And I said to them, don't you ever offer like a continuation program where, you know, you'll come in and you'll do some work and cut the grass and do the whatever. And he went, no, people just hire us. We do some work. And then if they want to hire us again, we come back. So we changed that. Hey presto, he's now winning 60% of his business on a monthly basis. He knows what's coming in next month and the month after, and so on and so forth. He's not sat by the phone hoping that somebody's going to call him. So bundling stuff together is really important. And the last one I've got, which is really I've spoken about a little bit already, is having a system, a process in place for objection handling. You know, what are the objections that you get? In truth, there aren't that many. It's too expensive. I can't afford it. I've not got the budget. I need to speak to my wife or my husband. I need to speak to, one of my directors. I want to think about it. The time's not right. We're too busy to go ahead at the moment. Trying to think of any others. There's probably 2 or 3 others that I can think of, but there's not that many, and there's not that many that are really used a lot. And my question to you is, what is your response to that? And does that work? Does it work? Whatever it is you say, does it work? Have you got that written down? Do all your salespeople follow the same system, or do they just wing it? Are we back to the amateur versus professional? So I always believe that an amateur will practice until they get it right, and a professional will practice until they can't get it wrong. And I remember back in my table tennis days, some of you will know that I used to play table tennis at international level. That was often the difference. I'll give you one quick example just before I go. When I played National League table tennis, I was in the top 10 players in England, played for certainly one of two of the top clubs in the British National League and then in the German National League. And when we used to play back then, we had a 3 o'clock kickoff. We used to arrive at 10 in the morning, do drills and practices up until 10, 12, have lunch, have a team meeting, have more practice, and then start the match at 3. Now I play in the veterans in the, or actually in the men's as well, in the Southampton League. We kick off at 6:30 on Tuesday evening. Everybody arrives about 20 past 6. They have a quick 5-minute warm up and off they go. That's the difference between professionals and amateurs. And I think the same is true in sales. So I'm going to leave you on that note. If you want to book a meeting, see the thing there, feel free to do so. It'd be great to have a conversation. I'm not going to, twist your arm in terms of selling. I am going to help you with your business, with your marketing, find out where you are, where you want to go, and talk about how to get there. I will then suggest these are a couple of things I might be able to help with. But I'd also like to make you another quick offer, if I may, and that is to offer the opportunity of joining my Results Mastery University. The university comprises of a variety of different training programs that are all online. They're all video based. You can listen to them whenever you want. There's a community, and there's also live events with me, which include these LinkedIn Lives and other events that I'm running, which you're very welcome to attend. So if you want to do that, again, easiest thing is to go to my website. You can see the website on the screen, steve-mills.com. Just click on the university and get yourself signed up. So other than that, I'd just like to say thank you ever so much for being here. Do appreciate your time. Thanks for sticking with me. Don't forget, I'm doing these things every day, Monday to Friday. So hopefully I'll see you tomorrow. Thanks very much for listening.